All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my first podcast and show, Life Gone Real. If you're listening or if you're watching, one thing, honestly, is to be grateful because you are surviving 2020. We are doing it, people. We are doing it. If you're alive, if you're well, you're breathing because you're listening to me or you're watching me. And we're doing it. It's been such a crazy year. It's been insane. But one thing, hey, we're doing it together and we're pushing through. Honestly, guys, we're actually almost done with 2020. We're in September. We're in September, people. So, hey, it's almost over, and hope to God 2021 is going to be so much better. But I'm hoping that everybody's going to come out of this year 2020 better and stronger. I hope that maybe you guys have learned something and something positive has come out of this. It's been insane for me, but I'm hoping to come out of this much stronger and better, and I already am, than I did when I started. I wanted to share, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while now, and I wanted to start it at the beginning of this year, but yep, life got real for me. So it knocked me right in the stomach, and that didn't quite happen. So that's what this show will be about, is Life Gone Real. We'll talk about marriages, we'll talk about relationships, we'll talk about dating, we'll talk about family, kids. We'll have some great guests on the show to talk about real life situations. You know what, guys? Real life is not a perfect, happy social media post in our gorgeous Insta stories, and I really want to know the stories behind all those posts and real life situation, what everyone is really going through when life gets real. I want to inspire people. I really wanted to encourage everybody when life gets real, just knowing, especially right now with this whole pandemic going on, I feel like so many people feel alone. I know I did. I'll share my story with you guys, but yes, you know what? Life is crazy. Life is weird. It throws curveballs at you, and sometimes you're just like constantly fighting, and it's crazy. And just to know that you're not the only one going through a bunch of crap. And I just want people to be encouraged and just inspired that, hey, there's other people that are going through some crazy stuff and they're coming out on the other side. Or maybe you can get some tips and just sharing, just encouraging of somebody else's story and what's going on, and just to not feel alone. Especially right now, I feel like we need to connect. No one's connecting because we're in quarantine and it was just crazy. So I feel like we've lost this connection that I think human nature and just our human, definitely science. I mean, we're born to connect. That's just how we are. So that's what this show is going to be about as well. I really want to share my heart. I want to be very vulnerable. I'm going to be open and truthful. That honestly is me, and that's all I know really to be. Yes, so I definitely want to share that, and I'm so excited. You are joining me and coming along on this journey with me called Life Gone Real. So we're going to take it a little back. I will share with you a little bit of my story, and my leg here. Hold on. Oops. I think that might be better. Okay. So we're going to take it back, guys. I'll share a little bit of my story. And I want you guys to get to know me. So that's why I'm going to share what I've been going through in 2020, because I want to share my heart and I want you guys to get to know me and who I am. So a little bit. So last year in 2019, at the end of the year, my husband and I, we went on an amazing 20th anniversary, wedding anniversary. I know, crazy. We got married really young. But yeah, we celebrated our 20-year wedding anniversary. We went to Rome and we did a Mediterranean cruise. It was so breathtaking. It was, oh my gosh, I love Italy. I definitely want to go back. I loved Greece. I definitely want to go back. Cannot wait till we can get back in the world and travel. I miss it so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, can't wait. So yes, I celebrated my 20th wedding anniversary. I was so excited for 2020, just like everybody else and just like the rest of the world. We all had our vision boards. I'm a big like, I love vision boards and I'm a big planner. I get excited about the new year. And I was so excited for 2020. I wanted to get back to a little bit of who I was and what I was doing and my dreams and my goals. So yeah, I was really excited. And January comes around. It's 2020, ringing the new year. And my husband and I, we were going to go on a date, which we did quite a bit. And if you follow me on Instagram, I always posted dates, date nights, and all that lovely stuff. But yeah, so we were going to go on a date. And yeah, my husband just kind of threw a big life ball at me. It's not funny, but he did. He threw a light ball at me and yeah, he let it all out and was just like, you know what? I don't know if I want to be married anymore. And it's like, what? Yeah, he just said, I don't know if I want to be married anymore. I don't really know if, you're supposed to be married, not supposed to be married, but really if some marriages, are not supposed to be, forever. And yeah, so what do you do with that? What do you do with that when your husband says that to you? What I did with that was cried a lot. So it was awful. I mean, we're right smack at the first week of January, and this is how 2020 is starting for me. And it was right there in my face. And it was very heartbreaking. Yeah, it was really, really hard. So it was definitely, we were supposed to go on a date, and it basically was a date of a 20-year marriage split. And that's when we separated. We separated that weekend, and it was just awful. I don't think I've ever cried so much. I mean, yeah, and people, you probably can realize, I mean, it was like cry where your eyes are so swollen, and my face was swollen. It was awful. My face, everything was full. I mean, it was like days for days. So yeah, we separated, he left, and we didn't tell the kids right away, just trying to figure out how we were going to do all that. How do you tell the kids? I didn't think I would ever be in this position. So that was hard. That was really, really hard to not tell your kids, and there were so and everybody knows I'm sharing this story because I know I'm not the only one going through this. That is why I want to share, because I know our marriage is not the only one going through this. I know there's other marriages, I'm sure, that are out there very similar to ours, and it's happening right now. You're going through it now. And that's a huge piece of my heart, and this is the reason why I wanted to share. But yeah, so for those first couple months, lots of anger, so much emotions, lots of crying, lots of anger. I was so upset. Oh my gosh, Tim and I, we were like, lots of arguing. I was just so hurt and lots of anger. I was just mad. So that all happened. It was January, February. And then comes along lovely March. We decided to tell our kids, because it had been a while, and obviously we're going down the path of, yep, it's full on, and this is our choice, this is his choice, and this is what's going to happen. So we told our kids, it was March, it was a weekend in March, and that is probably one of the hardest things to do. It's not fun telling your kids that your parents are splitting up. I never ever thought I would ever have that conversation with my kids, ever. And yep, that was probably another, it just keeps coming. That was another hard moment and another wave of just exhausting sadness. It was just really sad to tell your kids. And we told our kids, I'll tell you guys how we told our kids later on in some other episodes, just to kind of give you some tips of how we told them. But there's no, you know what, honestly guys, there's no great way to tell them. You just have to tell them it's not fun. But we did, and that was a hard weekend. And literally, guys, that was a weekend, and that following week, every day, the coronavirus was getting worse and worse by the day. It was insane. I think it was on a Tuesday. I don't know. Tim actually, he got an apartment and said, I signed a lease on an apartment. And of course I was like, oh, that's great. For me, I was like, wow, this is going fast. But he signed a lease on an apartment, and by that weekend, Friday, it was the kids. It was the last day of school, and then we all went into lockdown. I seriously, that whole week, I just remember just thinking I just couldn't breathe. It was like the breath had been knocked out of me. Almost like you're just, you almost felt like you're drowning, which is probably, that's one of my biggest fears, is drowning. But literally, I felt like I was drowning and was like, wow, this is crazy. I've split with my husband. I'm here with my kids alone. And there's a whole pandemic. There's this whole virus. We can't go anywhere. We're on lockdown. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was scary to go to the grocery store. It was scary to even go out. I mean, you had no idea. The news was insane. It was awful. It was probably one of the most loneliest times I've ever felt, even though I had my family with me. I had my kids with me, and I could talk to my mom and could talk to my dad, and my sister. Everybody was so supportive. But oh my gosh, I felt alone. I didn't have my husband. Here we're going through this major pandemic, and he's gone. I just had me and my kids. And I'll have to say, right then and there, I've got my little notes here so I don't get all off track. But right then and there, honestly, that's where there was a crossroads. It's that crossroads where we all come to, and it's a choice. I seriously could have just, crawled up in bed, put the covers over my head, had a big bottle of vodka, and just numbed myself. But I don't know, the choice I made, it was almost like I didn't have a choice, but I did, because we all have choices. But it was almost like this crazy virus, this pandemic, it made me choose. Actually, it made me choose life. That's crazy. It just hit me. This pandemic actually made me choose life, because I looked at my kids and their whole world with no school, and now we're having to quarantine and not see anybody. Their whole world was falling apart, and their parents are separating. I didn't know what to do. I literally was like, oh my God. So honestly, this pandemic made me choose in some ways life, but I still made that choice of nope, I'm not going to crawl in bed, and I'm not going to drink my sorrows away. I just dove. What happened was I dove into myself. Guys, I read so many self-help books, and I listened to amazing podcasts, and I did lots of praying. And that is what got me to make that choice, because I dove right into myself, honestly, after when we separated in January, at the very, very beginning of that month. I was working on myself anyways, and there was just this whole it just drove me to dive more and more into me. And honestly, through all of this, me diving into me and working on me and just taking care of me, I saved myself. That's how you save yourself. Now that I think about it, that's exactly what happened. Between that and the virus, kind of gave me life of a choice of like, I had kids and their world was falling apart. My world was falling apart, but I was like, somebody has to like turn this around. And that's exactly what I did. I kept just pouring tons of great things into me. And I made this home positive and just uplifting. I played music. We like did all the fun stuff. I made it very joyful. Even through this whole crazy virus and as it was going on, but I didn't know what else to do. That's all I knew to do, because I didn't want to live like in a dark place. That's not my personality. And if you guys know me, all my friends, I'm naturally not like that, but I could have easily though, seriously, just been depressed and just crawled up in bed and just called it a day and been like, okay, we're done. We're done. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with my marriage. I don't want to deal with my kids. I could have totally done that, but I couldn't. I couldn't do that, and I didn't have the heart to. But me taking care of me, and I don't know if you guys are going through anything like this. If there's anybody listening that's going through, yes, a marriage split, I would say the biggest thing at this moment is that you can do is just take care of you. And for me, I don't know. Every marriage is different though. So our marriage is completely different. Every marriage is different. Obviously, if you're dealing with someone who is dealing with addictions, and if you're dealing with an abusive relationship, that's a whole different ball game. So our relationship isn't like that. There was no abuse and there was no addiction. This literally is just my husband just did not, he just doesn't know if he wants to be with me sometimes, and it's more of his stuff. Obviously, I'm not perfect, but it was his choice. It was his choice to leave. I made the choice. Eventually, I will say, let's see. So we'll go back to the virus. So the virus started. It was March, went all through April. So all that time, guys, honestly, all I had was time. All I had was time. So I had time to dive into me, and I had time to heal. And that's what I did with that time. I read so many books. I did a lot of meditating. I did a lot of praying. And I also listened to some great podcasts, and which actually, I wanted to start this podcast a long time ago, but with my story and what happened has drove me even more of my why and my purpose of why I want to do this. So there is some good that's come out of all this. But yeah, let's see. We'll go back to the virus. So in May, there was a shift. So it was around Mother's Day, and May was a shift for me mentally that, my husband's made this decision. I let go. And, the months earlier, there was so much anger and just why I was mad. And there was just so many emotions, though. There's so many emotions. And yes, there were so many times that I went to, I would go, in my bedroom or in my bathroom. I mean, believe me, guys, I had my times of crying. I, wouldn't cry in front of my kids, but I had all those moments. So you guys are seeing me now and hearing me now on the other side. And I'm still healing. I'm still going through this journey and through this process, but I'm totally on a complete other side. Finally, thank God. But there was a shift that happened in May, and I let go. I let go of a lot of things. I let go of my marriage, mentally done. Because I had to kind of look at me as far as what's good for myself and my heart. Marriage isn't perfect. It was 20 years. So we kind of went down this road 5 years ago, and we went to therapy. We've gone through therapy, all of that stuff 5 years ago. And now, I thought we were really good. We worked out on a lot of things, and then now 5 years later, so this is the second go around. So I think too, for me, I just made a choice, and making a choice of like, wow, for me personally, it's like, I don't think I can do this every 5 years. Like when you just, that's just too hard. So there was a big shift in May and June that I let go, and I let go of a lot of anger, let go of a lot of resentment, and I started listening and kind of going back and just looking at our marriage, and I'm sure there's a lot of signs, there's a lot of things that were just coming up. My husband and I, Tim, we were able to really start talking, and he just started opening up and just really being a little bit honest. I still feel like there's probably other things that will come out, but he has shared his heart. He has shared his truth. We just were on two complete different stories or paths, and we'll share with this. I want him to be on the show, guys. So he's going to come along. He's going to sit right here by me, and he'll share his story, and we'll talk about our story a little bit. And I hope it kind of helps other marriages out there. And maybe, I know we are not the only ones going through this and going down this path. But we are friends, and we are doing this very amicably. And we have amazing children. We've built a huge, amazing foundation for them, and I see how important that is. So for me, I made that choice of, I want to do this in a friendly way, and I've just been able to make that decision. I've made that choice, and I've been able to, forgive. There's been some forgiveness that needed to happen, and I've been able to let go of a lot of things, and within that letting go and within that forgiveness has brought me to us being friends, and how we're able to keep going on this journey, because this is a whole new road for us. And I hopefully, we'll still be able to share, and you guys will see the process of even some things. And I'd like to have, we plan to have, some, like even a marriage therapist come in and just share some stuff. But yeah, that is our story. That is our 2020. And, a little bit of it. Obviously there's still more in depth, but that's just a little surface and a little bit of what's been going on with me and my why, though, of doing this podcast of Life Gone Real, because life went real with this little Southern belle who's in California. But life did. It got real. This is a situation, this is a whole thing that I didn't think would ever happen to me. And it just inspired me, because I know I'm not the only one, and I just want other people out there to know that they're not alone. And I just want people to be encouraged and inspired. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to think. Now we're in, going into, we're in September, and Tim and I are doing good. He's actually, well, I mean, we're friends. So a lot of people are like, oh, you guys are you're like the modern relationship breakup. And I didn't even know there's modern relationship breakup. I have no idea. But I mean, I guess you could say that. I don't know. But he is supporting me in this podcast. So there is not a bashing. I'm not bashing him. I am not bashing men either. I want to have some great men on the show who have inspiring stories as well. Obviously, hey, this doesn't just happen to just women where their husbands want to walk out. This happens to men too, where their wives walk out. So I would even like to have stories like that. And men, hey, men are great. I like men. And there's some great men out there. So this show is just, I want to inspire men too, and I love women, and all you women out there, I'm definitely got your back. I'm all about women empowerment, and I love women, and encouraging all of us. There's so many things that we can do. So for those of you who know me, you know that. But I do want to shine some light on these great men out there in the world. I don't think they get enough credit and get enough light shined on them. And I do want to bring some great men on the show that will be empowering and can share as well. But yeah, guys, I am glad that you guys are with me on this Life Gone Real journey, and I'm excited, and it's going to be great. So, yeah, I hope this kind of inspired you a little bit and you don't feel alone. I definitely want to share some more tips, and I will do that. I'll share some more tips and of what really helped. Some of the books that I read during this whole quarantine time, some of the podcasts that I listened to, things that kind of helped me. And then also Tim will be on the show, and we'll share a little bit of tips. Even, hey, how do you raise a family? How do you raise kids? How do you do all this amicably? And can you be friends? Can you be friends? I think you can. I think we're doing it, but again, every relationship is different. So our relationship is different. It's completely different when you are dealing with an abusive relationship or an addiction type of marriage, anything like that. That's totally different. But I'm excited, guys, and I'm glad you guys are listening and watching. Please subscribe to my podcast channel and my YouTube channel. Definitely leave a comment. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear if you guys have any ideas and what topics you guys would like for me to talk about. So please share and engage with me. And that's a wrap, I think. So thanks so much for tuning in to Life Gone Real with Ronna Deanne. Bye, guys.